Jasper-based Kimball International has released its fourth quarter numbers. More on those, plus my report from last night's Strassenfest opening ceremonies, and Michelle Reller talks about pulmonary hypertension tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Kimball International's fourth quarter and fiscal year 2014 results are now in, and the company is seeing more growth. This morning, company officials announced that the company's net sales for fiscal year 2014 came in at $336.8 million. That's an increase of 6% from last fiscal year's $318.3 million. Net income for this year came in at $7.8 million, or 20 cents per Class B diluted share. Both numbers are up 11% over last fiscal year. The company's fourth quarter gross profit as a percentage of net sales went up by 1.4% from the fourth quarter a year ago. The company cited improved margins in both the electronic manufacturing services and furniture segments. The company's EMS segment saw net sales of $198.9 million for fiscal year 2014, an increase of 3%. Net income for that segment dropped down to $7.1 million. It was at $7.4 last year. Meanwhile, the company's furniture segment saw net sales increase to $137.8 million this year. That's a more than $12 million in increases over fiscal year 2013. Kimball's effective tax rate was at 25.2% during the fourth quarter. That was impacted favorably by a higher mix of earnings from foreign jurisdictions, and those have lower tax rates than here in the U.S. Finally, operating cash flow for fiscal year 2014 ended at $69.9 million. That's an increase of $6 million from fiscal year 2013. A Jasper man was arrested after a verbal disagreement between him and a woman became physical. Just after 10:10 yesterday morning, Jasper police were called to a residence in the 400 block of West 6th Street on the reported incident. Police say 37-year-old Travis Stein was in the process of moving to a new residence. He had returned to the 6th Street residence to pick up an item when, according to police, a verbal disagreement began between himself and an unnamed woman. Police say the argument then escalated to the point where Stein grabbed the woman around the neck for several seconds. Stein then shoved the woman and threw her to the ground. Stein then left the scene, but police later caught up with him and took him into custody. He was lodged in the Du Bois County Security Center on several charges. Those include level 6 felonies for strangulation and intimidation, a level 5 felony for battery resulting in serious bodily injury, and a Class A misdemeanor for battery. Now, police did call an ambulance to the residence for the victim. However, she refused medical treatment. The top deputy for the federal prosecutor's office for Central and Southern Indiana is taking over following the resignation of U.S. Attorney Joe Hogsett. The U.S. Attorney's office in Indianapolis said today that Josh Minkler is now the district's acting leader. Minkler has been the first assistant in the office and is its drug unit chief. Hogsett announced a couple of weeks ago that he was stepping down at the end of July after 4 years in the position. He is joining an Indianapolis law firm and is considered a possible Democratic candidate in next year's Indianapolis mayoral election. A permanent replacement as U.S. Attorney would need to be nominated by President Barack Obama and confirmed by the Senate. Finally this evening, the Indiana State Fair is now underway with its usual confections and hearty treats, as well as alcoholic drinks for the first time in nearly 70 years. Today's start of the fair also marked the return of paid concerts in the fairgrounds' newly renovated Coliseum after those concerts were suspended following the deadly 2011 stage collapse. This year's fair runs through August 17th and again will mark the first time alcohol has been served on the fairgrounds in a long time, since 1946. Fair officials say visitors will be limited to 3 beers or 3 glasses of wine apiece. They also can sample products from Indiana breweries and wineries as long as they don't have more than 36 ounces of beer or 15 ounces of wine. All right, coming up after the break, my full report from last night's Strassenfest opening ceremonies, plus your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Inform with Michelle Reller. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.